I have faith that the British people will not actually stand by and let the NHS crumble.
This is what feminism is. If you do not stand by it, you're a sexist. Point 2. If you have had bad experience
Trans accepting. Stand by trans people. Do you know what happens? The two communities.
I just want to give people pause for thought here that, you know what, it's okay to stand by your moral principles. You know, in those situations at the moment, and yeah, we very much need to stand by the rights of the woman, because in that I am trying to stand by that message myself. I'm trying to ignore all the people who are just like, oh, the 90% is going to stand by and let you do this. We're not going to. It's just not going to happen.
You know, you want to stand by victims and support them because there's the shit that they've got through. It's absolutely terrible.
Because I am tougher than that. But at the same time, I am not going to stand by while you make stupid
in that kind of puss, right? I'm honest. I stand by what I say and do. If I wasn't prepared to stand by what I say and do, I wouldn't do it, right?
So I'm willing to stand by the fact that there might be a good deal of voters who stand on the right,
where people will can find a community of people who will stand by them and say, you are normal. And you take from that, well, clearly we must endorse and stand by every single Conservative policy. It actually is why Nigel Farage succeeds. This is why Donald Trump succeeds. Because they stand by their own fucking art.
Okay? You can give us hope. Okay? And I stand by what I said before. Better a Labour lead the culture. They aren't just going to stand by and watch as the rest of the world burns.
But what fuckwits? I meant everything in that video, and that I stand by the statements I made in that video. Fair, and you can probably be certain that in its more moderate, less distorted forms, you would stand by it. And so,
kind of example, is that I still stand by the fact that, you know, if just say, well, the environmentalists are handling this. You can't just stand by and say, well, the governments will save us because they won't. Recoils. But that's not possible. You know what I did for a living? Jim nods. Oh, I know, and I stand by my statement, said Laura. The man who loves his fellow man like a beloved pet can't just stand by when his creations enact oppression. So he's such a brainless individual. She said, go stand by the side of the hallway. When I stroke your head, follow me like you have done.
Ill. I mean, you know, I stand by the idea that, well, you know, a 40-minute video on a subject does. You are effectively just sort of saying, I will stand by your side and I will look after you. And because, let's face it, that is just, well, we trust this person, so we're going to stand by them. Because people have stood by monsters. Granted, when there are riots in the fucking street, they're saying, hey, we stand by our fellow brothers in blue. I stand by what I did, and I admit that, yes, there's, you know, arguably to us. I have faith that the British people will not actually stand by and let the NHS crumble away.
I think that I'm just gonna stand by and let it happen?
Now, doesn't mean that we stand by and do nothing. That means we help in peace talks. That means we take in in their urge to protect their precious safe spaces. But I stand by the fundamental right of safe spaces.
Letting the people we let down be let down even further. UKIP stands for standing by as others suffer.
Off the table, and Lisa got up to stand beside her. And Lucy got up to stand beside her. Greta pulled out her phone and snapped off a couple of things. Side utilitarian morality. I just can't stand by and let you find a way to blow up the whole damn ship. But I can help you cleanly end. You know, but he ain't done that, right? He ain't done that. So I will stand by him and support him, and I utterly get that, and I utterly stand by that as a fundamental truth. Inasmuch you have done. Toy nodded and went to stand by the side of the hallway. The Bamkush manipulated the controls and pulled the door lever.
This is something where you can't just stand by. You can't just say, "Ah, well, the environmentalists are handling this." You can't just stand by.
Don't. So I'm not
encouraging anybody to stand by my philosophy here. And I'm still even willing to stand by it, but people are still just like, "No, that is against the doctrine that I have been taught."
Well, on the one hand, yes, he has said that he, doesn't stand by those words, which I did, but also knows about it. And I stand by that, right? War isn't a problem because nobody fucking knows.